Establishing a digital boutique is an exercise in curation rather than collection. We often find ourselves drawn to the promise of ready made content because we are already stretched thin by the demands of our current lives. Yet, the true grace of a boutique business lies in the intentionality of every asset we offer. Vetting your first PLR or private label rights purchase is not just about checking a price tag. It's about ensuring that the seeds that you plant in your digital garden are of the highest quality and aligned with the legacy that you wish to build. Many women find their hard drives filled with digital dust, those impulse buys that feel like a shortcut but ended up being just another item on a growing to-do list. We're walking through the art of vetting your first buy today, but stay with me till the end because I'm sharing one specific shift that turned my own struggle into grace. It's the perspective most people miss. Think of your digital boutique as a curated French Quarter gallery. You wouldn't place a mass-produced generic print next to a hand-restored vintage map. Every piece must speak the same language. When you look at a potential PLR purchase or private label rights, the first question isn't, is this good? But does it fit with my anchor? A woman I know who purchased a massive bundle of business templates because the price was too good to pass up went weeks into trying to force these templates to fit her own brand, only to realize that they were written for a high-pressure corporate audience that didn't resonate with her soft life philosophy at all. She traded her most valuable asset, her time, for a bargain price that didn't serve her. To avoid this, we use a simple vetting filter. Does the content match your audience's specific pain point? Does it cover topics that you would want to be known for? Can it be broken down into multiple formats like a blog post, a checklist, and a series of social media updates? This is how we ensure that every dollar spent is an investment in your quiet income, not just a line item in your expenses. The mechanical beauty of this approach is that it feeds your boutique ecosystem seamlessly. When you vet for quality and fit, you're actually vetting for traffic longevity. A well-chosen asset can be turned into 5 different Pinterest pins, each acting as a perpetual signpost that guides your ideal client back to your Etsy or PayHip stores and can anchor them for years to come. If you're new to our circle, welcome to Glimmer and Grace Co. I'm Michelle, and I'm here to help you navigate your graceful pivot towards a soft life of sophisticated simplicity while helping you build your quiet income through your digital boutique. Every piece of content in your boutique has a life cycle that begins with the vetting process. When you choose a high-quality PLR asset or private label rights, you aren't just buying a PDF. You're buying the foundation of a multi-layered conversation with your audience. We start with the video, move to a lead magnet, and eventually lead them to a paid product that offers a deeper transformation. Imagine a vintage watchmaker. He doesn't just find an old timepiece and puts it in the window. He cleans the gears. He replaces the worn leather strap with something supple and ensures that the face is polished to a shine. That is exactly what we do with PLR. We take the raw movement and wrap it into our own brand voice, our colors, our fonts, and our stories. This lifestyle is what creates the shift from a spectator to a partner. By the time that your viewers click the link in your blog post to see your Etsy or PayHip stores, they aren't just looking at a product. They're looking at a curated solution that you personally vetted and refined. This bridge between free value and quiet revenue is the heartbeat of a sustainable digital boutique. When you find yourself in the most complex part of setting up your boutique, that's where the boutique priority questionnaire becomes your practical application. It helps you stop the random use of PLR that leads to disappointment and starts the intentional curation that leads to profit. When you begin to vet your first purchase, you're looking for the structural integrity of that content. You're looking to see if the foundation is solid enough to hold the weight of your brand. We don't just look at the words. We look at the spirit behind them. If the content feels thin or hurried, it will never provide the search engine grace that we desire. We want depth that allows for perpetual discovery. Think of it like shopping for a vintage dress at a high-end consignment boutique in the Garden District or wherever you live. You aren't just looking at the color, you're checking the seams. You are feeling the weight of the fabric. You're looking at the hem to see if there's enough room to let out and make it fit your specific frame. High quality PLR is exactly like that, a well made vintage piece. It has enough substance in the original writing that you can tailor it to your voice without the whole thing unraveling. A woman in our circle once found a PLR pack about mindful living, and on the surface, it looked perfect. But when she opened the files, the content was nothing more than a list of surface level platitudes that she could have found in a grocery store magazine. There was no meat to it. Because she knew the value of her own brand, she didn't try to fix it. She realized that trying to turn water into wine takes a miracle, but turning a good vintage find into a masterpiece only takes a little bit of grace and a sewing machine. She moved on and found a different set that had deep, researched insights that she could actually build upon. To perform your own audit, look for 3 specific markers. First, look for the logical flow. Does the content lead the reader from a problem to a real solution? Second, check the formatting. Is this clean and organized, or is it a wall of text that will require hours of manual labor to fix? Third, evaluate your update factor. Is the information evergreen, or will it be obsolete by the time you finish your tea? If it passes these 3 marks, then it's worthy of your digital boutique. This meticulous vetting is what fuels your traffic longevity. When you have high quality content, you can easily pull out 5 distinct glimmers or insights to create your Pinterest pins. One pin might focus on a specific metaphor from the text, another on a practical framework, and a third on the emotional shifts that the content promises. Because the quality is high, each pin leads to a landing page that actually delivers on its promise, keeping the cycle of discovery alive. Understanding the license is the mechanical necessity that protects your legacy, really. Every buy for a PLR comes with a set of rules. As a sophisticated boutique owner, you must know where your boundaries are. Some licenses allow you to put your name on it, but not sell the rights to other people. Others allow you to use the content in a paid course, but not on a free blog. Imagine you're moving to a historic home in New Orleans. You own the home, but because it's in a protected district, there are rules about what colors you can paint the shutters or how you can alter the balcony. These rules aren't there to stifle you. They're there to preserve the beauty and the value of the entire neighborhood. PLR licenses are your historic district guidelines. They ensure that the ecosystem of the digital product remains valuable for everyone. There was a creator who ignored her license terms and bundled a PLR product into a massive giveaway that specifically prohibited free distribution. Not only did she risk a legal headache, but she also signaled to her audience that she didn't value the anchor of her business. She had to spend months rebuilding the trust that she lost by appearing cheap with her assets. By respecting the licenses, you respect your own brand's integrity. Your framework for license vetting is simple. Always check the rights file first. Look specifically for personal use only versus commercial use. Confirm if you can claim authorship. Finally, check if you can modify the contents. If these 3 things are clear, you have the green light to begin the transformation. This clarity allows you to move forward with the peace of mind that your boutique is built on a legal and ethical bedrock. Once you've vetted the quality and the license, the final step in your buy is the Glimmer and Grace Co edit. This is where the magic happens. We don't just change the logos, we infuse the content with our own wisdom. This is the moment that you move from being a reseller to being a curator of high-value digital assets. It is the difference between a house and a home. Think of a classic 1950s diner. The menu might serve the same basic item as the place down the street, burgers, fries, and a milkshake, but the atmosphere is what makes you stay. It's the jukebox playing your favorite rockabilly track. It's the gleaming chrome, the way the light hits the red vinyl booths, and the secret spice that they put in the sauce. The base is the same, but the experience is entirely unique to that establishment. Your boutique is the diner. Your specific stories and your unique metaphors are the secret sauce that make people want to choose your digital products over someone else's. A woman I mentored once bought a pack of PLR guides on organizing for busy moms, and instead of leaving it as a general guide, she looked at her own life. She was a Gen X woman caring for aging parents while trying to maintain her own peace. She pivoted the content, adding sections specifically about the graceful declutter of a childhood home. She took a generic asset and turned it into a deeply personal legacy piece. Because she vetted the quality first, she had the good bones necessary to make these sophisticated additions without the content feeling disjointed. To apply this framework, read through your vetted purchase and identify the 3 areas where you can insert a personal glimmer. First, find a point where you can share a brief story from your own pivot. Second, replace a generic example with a metaphor that resonates with your sophisticated audience. Third, add a shop note or a Michelle style tip that offers a practical shortcut that they won't find anywhere else. By the time you're finished, the original PLR is simply a canvas for your own masterpiece. This customization is the fuel for your boutique ecosystem. When you've added your personal touch, creating the 5 Pinterest pins becomes a joy rather than a chore. You aren't just pinning tips, you're pinning your unique perspective. One pin features your personal story, another your specific metaphor, and 3 others focus on the quiet income results your boutique provides. These pins act as the search engine, Grace, that leads people directly to your Etsy or PayHip store, where your fully customized, vetted product is waiting to serve them. We've walked through the vetting, the licensing, and the customization today, but earlier I mentioned a specific shift that turned my own struggle into grace. Most people look at PLR as a way to get out of work. They see it as a hack to post content without thinking. That perspective leads to a cluttered hard drive and a brand that feels like a ghost town. The shift is this: stop looking at PLR as a finished product and start looking at it as a collaborator. When you vet your first buy, you aren't looking for a replacement for your voice. You're looking for a partner that handles the heavy lifting so your voice can shine brighter. When I realized that the PLR was there to provide the structure so that I could provide the soul, my boutique stopped feeling like a hustle and started feeling like a legacy. It allowed me to focus on the power of 5 and ensure that my boutique never sleeps, all while I enjoy the soft life that I built. If this video spoke to you today, be sure to give it a like and share, and join our circle by subscribing. It's free to do and it helps our circle grow. Please share in the comments any struggles that you're having with your digital boutique, or if you'd like me to do a video on something specific. Remember to find your glimmer today and walk in grace. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.